Welcome, everyone. So nice to have you all here this evening and this afternoon, depending on where you're coming in from. We're so excited that you are here joining us on the Think India live stream on Facebook. So, welcome. And we encourage you to check out our Facebook page, Think India, and please peruse the page and get excited for the content that we have for you there. We're currently offering a artistic challenge, asking you to post there what you've been doing through these last several months with your creative energies. So please share your creations out on our Think India Facebook page. That is facebook.com/thinkindia, one word. So welcome. We are so happy to have you with me today, and I have the honor to do a chair yoga class for you all. It'll be very gentle. We'll take it pretty slowly, and we'll provide modifications for those of you that may have some challenges. And so, again, really respecting what your abilities are is really key to any kind of exercise program. Taking it slowly and respecting what your body is telling you, creating that self-awareness is also very key. So at any time during this session, because we will be focusing on exercise and body movement, if you feel like you need to rest, I highly encourage that you do so. Do not overexert. Do not, this is not a pain, no gain session by any means. It's quite the opposite. We want to have you feel nurtured and very, very supported. So let's get started. And again, I will continuously provide you some items of modification as need be, and we will just take our time and do it. You will see me moving around the room a little bit. You won't have to move very much. It's for me to be able to be seen by you. So I may change my angle or change my chair position and so on. So we'll work together on that. As we get started, have a seat. Make sure you have a sturdy chair that's not going to flip or anything of that nature, something with solid ability on the floor and no arms if possible. Then what we'll have you do once you're seated, allow your feet to feel flat on the floor. If you are a shorter person like I am, sometimes if you sit way too far back, the feet don't touch. So just from a side view, we welcome you to come to closer edge of the seat and place the feet flat on the floor. Okay, so I'm on the edge of my seat as opposed to way back where my feet may not feel so comfortable on the floor. And as you can see, I'm wearing my stripy pants, so you can appreciate which angle my knee and my hip is moving as well when we do the side views. So again, just allowing the feet to open up, and if you're wearing socks, great. I do request if you are wearing shoes to possibly remove your shoes. All right, because we want to be able to move the toes. There are many bones in the feet, so we want to be able to free those up as well and take advantage of our time doing this session. So as your feet are sinking into the floor, let your toes open up and allow your posture to be in a straight position. To help you to do that, let us go ahead and feel where our sit bones are. So those are the two bones in our bottom that feel like they're making contact with our feet. So allow ourselves to feel even distribution of the pressure of where we're sitting on those two sit bones that are right underneath of us. Okay. And a side view of my posture. Many of us, as we're sitting at our desk and we're working a lot these days from home or working a lot of desk work, probably more than usual, we may find ourselves, especially if we're on our laptops or a keyboard, that we tend to slump. So let's take advantage of re-cueing our body and getting our postural muscles to cue up. So here's the side view of what I'd like everyone to do. Again, feet flat on the floor. Perhaps sit on the edge of your seat. If you're a shorter person and you are working long hours where you are back in your chair and there's a lot of pressure on the back of your thighs, you may have to put a couple of blocks under your feet. And that will allow your knee to be a little more even with your hip. Okay, if the knee is lower and there's a lot of pressure on the back of the thigh, that's going to create some issues from a circulatory standpoint and even comfort in your hamstrings. Okay, for the purpose of our exercise today, we want to be seated upright, edge of the chair or full back in the chair is fine, depending on how tall you are. The shorter you are, the more forward you are. And the key with posture is once you feel your sit bones on the seat, is to pretend that someone is pulling at the very top of your head and pulling it straight up to the ceiling. So I call it an elongation or a growth, a tall growth to the spine. To help myself to do that, I actually allow my shoulders to roll back a little bit, and I'm actually squeezing my shoulder blades together and down. This actually opens up the chest muscles in the front. My head, like I said, the crown of my head is trying to root up towards the sky. So it's almost as though I've gained a couple of inches in height just by elongating myself. Like I'm almost telescoping my body upwards to the sky. All right. And you already can feel very different in this position. You know your muscles are on when you're feeling a little bit tired. The most important part of any exercise program, especially any type of yoga type of exercise, is the breath work. So we want to allow ourselves to ease in with an inhaling breath as we elongate or open the body. And as we exhale, we can give ourselves a chance to relax, but maybe maintain that nice, tall elongation. Think of your skeletal system and your bones like a scaffolding of a building. You want that scaffolding to be not long and strong, all right? But anything else flowing from it can flow away, all right? So here is our tall body, inhaling, rooting ourselves from the sit bones, from the floor, and then exhaling. And with the next inhale, allow again to think about, oh, I want to become really long and tall. Relax the jaw, relax the muscles, but allow the elongation of the spine to come. And as we exhale, feel peaceful and keep the system relaxed, but keep the body tall and long. So definitely your postural muscles are working. Our postural muscles, the ones that are holding up our head and holding up our spine, they're designed to work all day long except when we're sleeping. They really are designed for that. So they're not to get tired, okay? They may feel tired now because I'm giving you a lot of attention. So let's do two more breaths here in this position. And again, you'll remember the point. Feet on the floor, shoulder blades squeezed and back and down. As we inhale, tallness in the body. And as we exhale, we just let the breath escape through our mouth or our nose. So probably the nose, but for some of us it may be a bit difficult to do that. Through the nose. Inhaling preferably through the nose. Warm that air up. And as you exhale, relax and release. So you can see my posture. Actually, the lines on the chair tell you if my back is straight, so I guess I can't cheat. So let's go ahead now and start doing some gentle shoulder rolls. So again, a side view so that you can just see what I'm doing. Typically, I just want to get moving first. Just get the motion of rolling those shoulders around. For some of us, this might be already difficult. If you have a shoulder problem, sometimes a neck problem ensues from past usage of muscles overworking them. So just go slow. Nothing has to be big whenever we start any form of exercise. Small range of motion is key to start, and then we can grow bigger. So as we inhale, we'd like to at least open up the chest. So that means the shoulder blades will go back. And as we exhale, we can collapse a little bit forward because the air can come out. So rolling the shoulders might be more fun to do when we move the body at the same time. So let's do the breath, the shoulder roll, and the body opener. So remember what I said. When we inhale, we allow our chest to open up. We let the body open up. The shoulder blades will go back and down. So that will open up the front of the chest and also the lung field. And when we exhale, we can just kind of relax and slump down, hang out. A little slouchy is okay because we get to use those muscles again when we inhale to activate, open up, become active again, using those muscles. And then exhaling, sinking down, pulling the belly button in. It's like I'm trying to make a letter C with my back. And as we inhale, one vertebrae at a time, we can root up nice and tall. And you're noticing I'm not extending my spine. I'm just coming up tall and long, relaxing the jaw the whole time, especially if you're concentrating. And then exhaling, allowing the body to slump and relax. So let's do at least 3 more of these, okay? Just to get the body moving. Inhale, open up the chest, shoulder blades squeeze down and back, long, tall body. And as we exhale, we pull that belly button in to help round the spine a bit. Let the chin drop towards the chest, maybe a gentle stretch in the back of the neck. Inhale, flowing upwards, chest forward, shoulder blades down and back. And then exhale, pull the belly in first. I'm going to teach you how to use your core. Pull the belly in, all the air also pushes out because you pulled your belly in and you can round. Another inhale as we reach up, nice and tall, jaws relaxed the entire time. And then exhale, relax, and then release. So just now do little mini circles. That was something different maybe for many of us. That in itself can be very helpful after sitting at the desk for a long period of time. And seriously, 3 to 5 rounds like that, taking a moment while you're still paying attention to maybe work that's ongoing, can be very helpful. The issue with sitting for a long period of time is not moving at all. And what I'm trying to do today is give you some tips where you can use your chair to be your tool and your friend to allow yourself to get moving. All right, so we've done our shoulder rolls. Let's start working our twisting the work of our torso muscles, and then I'll also get you to start using the leg muscles to warm up some of the leg muscles before we do some open stretches. Okay? Take a nice deep breath. Inhale and exhale to relax. Feet are on the floor. What we'll do now is we'll take our hands and open them up. Remember, when we're typing, there's a lot of work in the carpal tunnel, the front of the wrist, tremendous amount of work. Some of us may have some carpal tunnel issues. So what I like to do is to roll my hands forward and pretend I'm pushing something in front of me, like a drawer. If I'm pushing a drawer closed, I'm pushing it out in front of me. So from the side, it looks like I'm just moving it out. You can see the contrast through the door back there. Okay? I'm opening up my carpal tunnel. We have no idea how tight our hands may really be. But what I like to do is kind of sweep it around. So it's like I'm doing a big, messy painting on the wall and swishing my hands around, and then I'm ending up in this position here, okay? So let's do that with some breathing work. Let's start off through the hands, with the hands pressed together. This position also opens up the carpal tunnel. So in our hand prayer position, or Anjali position, we can start off and inhale, make a big wet paint mark all over the wall, smear it, and then exhale as you come down and put the hands forward. Inhale, bring the hands back, and exhale. So now inhale, open up, smear, and then exhale, open up the hands, and then inhale, relax, and then exhale. Inhale one more time, open up, push, smear, and then exhale, bring it up. Inhale, bring it in, and then exhale, come back and relax. So now let's hook our thumbs to our chest bone. So the breastbone of the chest, we'll just hook it right in here. Stand up nice, or excuse me, sit up nice and tall. Root through those sit bones, that what we did in the very beginning from the nice tall posture. And now we're going to twist. Keep your knees apart. Don't let them fall in. At least try to keep your knees in line with your hips. If you have issues with your SI joint, some of us have some low back issues and the knees are not too happy being too narrow, definitely just widen them as you need to. Sometimes just widening the knees allows the SI joint to feel a little more relaxed, and it just allows the sit bones to widen out as well. So maybe more comfortable just to have wider knees, and that's okay. Narrow knees might be feeling like everything's crunched in and you have to use too many muscles. So either knees in line with the hips or knees a little bit wide apart. Again, bringing our hands back to prayer position. Taking a deep breath and relaxing and release. Let's allow ourselves to inhale as we take our nose, hands, and chest bone off to one side. But guess what? My knees are trying to stay where they are, straight in front of you, okay? So we'll inhale and we just gently twist, not too much. Feel it through your spine. And as you exhale, pull your belly button in. Exhale, press all that air up, pull your belly button and come on back. So as you inhale, it's like your thumbs are glued to your chest bone and you're pulling it across, but your nose is also aligned with those hands, fingers, and chest. And as you exhale, you allow yourself to return. So just get the movement first. Inhale, allow a gentle twisting, keeping the knees apart. Remember, sometimes the knee wants to fall and keep those knees apart. Not too excessive, and then exhale, come on back. So go with your breath. Inhale. My breath pattern may be different from yours. And exhale. But the key is to slow your breath down enough to where you can move slowly and not rapidly. So inhale deeply and turn, keeping the knees apart, feeling the twist probably in your mid-back, and then exhale. And again, the nose, hands, chest all move at once, whereas the sit bones are staying still and stable. So guess where the twist has to occur? It has to occur somewhere in the mid-back. And now again, one more time. So just to get that feeling, and you may feel it in your rib cage, definitely when you do it for the first time. So allow yourself just to roll those shoulders out, come on back. Maybe it's something new for you. I always do a bit of a warm up for those of us who are beginners. I don't get too aggressive right away with anyone. And I just want to give you an option, an opportunity to know that you can start small and very basic. Now, to advance the rotation a little bit more. We started off with our hands to the heart center. Now we're going to give a little bit more mechanical advantage, right? We're going to get a little more lever arm there for a little more weight and pressure. And we want to use our hands. So let's just wiggle our hands a little bit. I'm just swirling them around. All right. Just to kind of give myself a chance to get my wrist loosened up. Now I'm going to push my fingertips as far away from my ears as possible, which means that my shoulders cannot be shrugged. My shoulders, the tops of my shoulders are also going away from my ears. Open up the hands. Some of us might feel some really interesting sensation in the fingers because the nerve roots that start off in the neck and go all the way, the nerves that go all the way to the fingertips are getting a gentle stretch. So don't overdo it. Soften it up if you need to and just sit for a moment. Okay? So let's just go through a dynamic flow with this. We're going to go ahead and inhale. We're just going to open up those fingers and elongate them as far away as possible, but really relaxing the jaw. We're not shrugging the shoulders. It's the opposite. The shoulders are being brought down and away from our earlobes. And when we exhale, let's just relax because it may feel really weird at first. It's like, whoa, I feel some tingling in my fingers. Be very gentle and very slow. That's a gentle nerve root stretch, which many of us may have issues with because of how we've been sitting in our posture. Once again, we're just elongating through the fingertips, shoulder blades down. And as we exhale, returning and relaxing. One more inhale, blowing open, fingers spread out. Fingertips going away from us, shoulder tips going away from our ears. And then exhale, bring it back, relax, and just take those shoulders and roll. Make sure your jaw remains relaxed. You're not clenching your jaw. Take another deep breath in and relax and exhale. So that's the preparation of doing some longer elongated twists. So now we've got our hands out to our side. They're literally just in the same plane as my shoulder. I'm not far back. I'm not forward. I'm just comfortable. For those of us that may have some rotator cuff issues or having some problems with our shoulders, then you can always allow your lever arm to come a little closer to the body. You don't have to stretch it out. You don't have to come up high. You can be low. And if you need to come a little forward because being out here might tweak some other rotator issues, then come out forward, okay? So what we're going to do now is similar to the twist that we did with our heart center seized up with our thumb. Now we're going to be open. And now we're going to do the same twist. The nose and the chest will go at one time, but keeping the knees apart. So a little longer lever arm. And the arms, guess what they're doing? They're trying to rotate back. The back one is. And then exhale, come on back. But it's like I'm just if I had to hold a broomstick across my shoulders or a dowel, that dowel would not move, right? I have to keep holding it. So I'm going to inhale and then exhale and come on back. So it's a little more work because now I have to use those shoulders. Remember, if it's like, well, this is just too much for my shoulders, I'm not used to this, you can do what I call a modified football field goal position. Bring those arms in and then twist. So that just reduces your lever arm a little bit. The shoulders are not high up. The shoulders are relaxed a little bit more, and then we can twist. Now, let's do our breath work again. So we're going to inhale. twist and allow the body to be straight, keeping the knees apart. When you exhale, pull your belly button in when you exhale so that you turn on your core and your internal obliques to pull the body back to neutral. Inhale, exhale, pull your belly button in and rotate back. Inhale, and then exhale. For those of you who want to try both, go ahead and maybe reach out. Inhale, everything opens up. Exhale, bring it back in and bend the elbows. Inhale, flow open. Exhale, pull belly button in and then come in a little bit. Inhale, open up the arms. Exhale, and then one more inhale. Definitely, you probably feel it in your shoulders. And then exhale, relax. Release. Let's go ahead and just take time to just roll those shoulders out a little bit. Look down at the floor for a moment. Just kind of take your time to reverse some of the usage of the muscles. All right. We want to definitely work the neck, but we have to be super gentle when working the neck. Neck movement has to be fully respected. There's a lot going on in this little part of our body. Such a vital part, right? If you think about all of the blood supply, what our heart provides us, bringing circulation to the head, big pathway here. What our brain supplies for the rest of the way down, big nerve pathway down here. So the neck is such a huge conduit, right? We can't survive without this. So we want to honor the neck and not force anything. There are maybe some of you who've had neck issues. So let's take it really, really slowly. All right. And I'll give you the tips that we can use, especially when you're working at your desk. So with neck work, again, it's back to that posture. Then I'll do I call it a little pigeon work, pigeon head. So I call it a face tuck or a pigeon head. So you know how pigeons want to go forward and back, right? So this exercise is very important for the discs of our neck. And again, nothing is aggressive. So if you already have, most of us do have a slight forward head posture, which means the head moves forward. Just the postural correction that I showed at first can help. How do we make the muscles turn on and get those discs back in where they need to be? We just pull the face back. So I call it a face tuck. It's almost as though somebody put their hand right in front of my nose and they're like, stop. And I'm like, what? What happened? And I'm pulling my face back. That's an active exercise. And then I can exhale and just come back to neutral, kind of allow myself to relax a little bit. So as I inhale, not only do I get tall, but I pull that face away from my stop sign hand. And I can pull my belly into to give myself a nice lift. And as I exhale, I just release a little bit out of that. The entire time the jaw is relaxed. So inhale, pull your face, not just tall and up, but back. Exhale and relax. And then one more inhale, pull it back. And then exhale, relax and release. Just roll those shoulders again, just get the kinks out. And as you're rolling the kinks out, we're going to do some really gentle, what I call no-nos. So it's like you're telling a little kid, no, no, no. And it's a very small no-no. It's not this big sweeping no-no. We're just going to go ahead and just do a gentle no-no. Still in a nice tall postural position. So they're small. They can be slow or they can be a little bit more rapid, like an oscillatory movement. And I love this movement anytime your neck feels stiff or painful for whatever the reason is, because gentle, small movements within a very small range sometimes just reset the button, so to speak, of the joints and some of the fibers of the neck, whatever is in there. So you can see I'm not doing anything huge. I'm just tweaking it. Sometimes I'll even go slower. There are those of us that have very poor neck issues and the neck has some difficulties where we can't even rotate. There are some conditions that constitute to that. So again, we want to honor in positions. It doesn't mean that you don't rotate the neck at all, but it could be as small as this. So there's little teeny no-nos. So I mentioned the oscillatory movement. This can feel great. And I love to just shake the head, mini, mini, mini little shakes like this, and then start sweeping into a little longer movement. So if you don't know where to start, you can always start with gentle face tuck in, face tuck back, right? Then after the face is tucked back gently, just teeny, teeny little no-nos. Just tiny little sweep. Tiny, tiny, tiny. And then we can slow it down and start moving a little bit more. because we just warmed up those tissues a bit. By doing all the shoulder work that we do, we kind of warmed up some of the neck muscles as well a little bit. Then you can elongate your movement and equally slow your breath down. So if you inhale and you turn, now this time my chest is not moving, it's in the front. So now it's about the neck. I'm turning my nose and chin away while my shoulders stay square on to what's in front of me. And then I'll exhale and come back very slowly. So inhaling, and then exhaling, you can pull your belly in again, activate your core, and bring the face back. Inhale, get a nice big breath into the chest, exhale. Pull the belly in as you come back. Inhale. Pull the belly in as you exhale and you come back. Now, for some reason you don't have that range of motion available, or you can't sequence your breathing because your breathing tends to be a little more rapid. There's no reason why you cannot inhale part way, exhale as you get to the end, inhale part way, and exhale as you get to the end. For those of us that can really expand that breath, nothing wrong with going into a full inhale, but I always love an exhale coming back to neutral because it'll activate that core, so you bring your belly in. And so when you start moving your body based on your core comes in first, and then you pull in or you bring things into your body, that's what's going to help the most. All right, very good. So now we'll do some side bending, super slow side neck bend, and then we'll start working the hips a little bit. So I will not use my hands for the side bending today because it's a little more advanced work. We never want to pull on our head and our neck and just bring it down, all right? Because that takes a tremendous amount of opening of the joints. We want to be very friendly to the facet joints of the neck. Actually, I do the opposite. I use my hand as a pillow. The hello hand, my pillow, all right? I actually put it against the side of my head or near my ear. And I will lean my head into it as opposed to pulling on it. It gives a little support. And as I'm letting my head lean in and push gently into my hand, I'm supporting it at the same time. It's 9 pounds over here, okay? So we want to be friendly to the other structures of our spine, especially our neck. Relax the jaw as you feel a gentle stretch. Just breathe here and then allow yourself push. Give your head a little hand and literally and push the head back to neutral. Okay, so we're going to inhale and just open up, nothing huge. What's the point? What's the rush to open up so big right at once? Exhale and come on back. What I like about dynamic movements, you can always go towards the movement, okay, to open up the movement and then come on back out. And the next time that you get to do it, you can just go a little tiny bit further. So we inhale to open, as usual, we exhale to close. You can use your core, pull in your core, come on back. Another nice inhale. Again, you're using your hand as a pillow. And exhale, assist, and come on back. All right, bring that hand down. Just roll those shoulders again. We're just using that arm. Breathe in, release. Okay, breathe in and release the breath. We've got to do the other side. So the hand here now is holding the head. You do about 5 to 10. If you happen to have any issues with your disc, if you have an issue where you're starting to have more symptoms doing a particular movement, you want to go ahead and really reduce how far you take that movement. And if for some reason your medical professional has restricted you from any sort of move, you must honor that. So again, we're inhaling into the hand, and as we exhale, we allow the hand to assist the head to come back. And as you go over, feel the opening of the tissue here and keep the jaw relaxed. Again, we often will, because we're concentrating, we'll often clench our jaw. We have to conscientiously get a little better about keeping that jaw unclenched, not just during our exercise in yoga, but whenever we're working. So if nothing else today, if you can take home the message about posture and, hey, I got to keep my jaw unclenched, that's going to help you. And then come on back to neutral. All right. So here we are, just rolling those shoulders again. We've done a little bit of our neck work. I do want to show you a very gentle opening of the neck since we now warmed up some of those muscles as well. So when we do this, we're going to reach up nice and tall, okay? So if your shoulder is allowing you to come up, you're not shrugging it, you're just elongating the arms and coming up. See if you can use your middle finger to hook on what we call the auricle of the ear, the little cartilage part of the ear, and let the hand just drape over. So it's like my hand becomes like a little beanie and just drapes over the side of my head. Just the weight of my hand alone can give some overstretch. So I'm really keeping my jaw loose. This will not work well if you're tightening your jaw. Keep the jaw loose. Remember your nice tall posture and give yourself a gentle stretch. Remember, for those of us that have neck issues, you do not want to go far. It's a very gentle stretch. Try for a count of 3 or 5, but then assist yourself to come back. Slide that hand and assist it back. Okay? So I'm not going to do too many of these. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to feel it. We'll do one more on that side. So draping the hand over, letting it rest. My middle finger is hooking into the auricle, just something to hold on to, and the rest of my hand is draped. And I let the weight of my hand open up the neck. I'm still facing straight on with the camera. The face that you can be facing me. And then when we exhale to come back, you can be there for several breaths. Push, give assistance, bring it back. Give assistance to bring it back. So not overusing the muscles. Once we did that, we're going to do our baby no-nos again because we just kind of opened up one side. We want to reset everything in the tissues. So just little bitty no-nos. And tuck your face back again. So that face tuck it back, and just a little bitty no-nos. No, 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 no. Okay? We want to do the other side. Again, very gently. Take a deep breath to inhale and then exhale to relax. Lots of information, a lot of talking on my end. So let's just breathe for a second. We'll do the other side. Okay, so let's reach up again long and tall as far as our shoulder will allow us, and then drape the hand over the head. Middle finger is at the auricle of the ear. We're going to go ahead and inhale. Let the weight of the hand just open up the side of the neck very gently, very, very gently. And then exhale, slide the hand back. Don't push the head back yet, or don't bring the head back to return. Let the hand assist it back. Inhale, up you come, and let the weight of the hand open it up. You can stay here for 2 to 3 breaths, usually not more if this is new for you, because we don't want to open up so much where the disc is being affected, because prolonged stretching also affects the facet joints in the disc. But you always want to try to come back up on an exhale. Exhale, phase, come back to neutral. Inhale, phase, we open. We can stay here for multiple breaths, usually 2 or 3. And then exhale, phase, bring it back. Rest the arms, roll those shoulders, and come back to our little no-nos. Tuck that face back again, pull it back, right? And do your little no-nos. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we will allow ourselves to start marching in our seats to warm up the tissues of the hips, all right? So before we do that, let's roll those hips in and out. The feet are on the floor. What you're going to do, you'll end up opening up the legs, the thighs will become apart, and the weight will be on the outer blades of the feet, okay? And we exhale, we'll pull our belly in and squeeze our knees together, okay? So when we inhale, it's an open, so we can use our hands at the same time. When we inhale, spin open your arms, shoulders, palms, knees. And when we exhale, you're going to collapse in a little bit. Head down. So I'll do a frontal view first, where you're inhaling, you spin your body open. It's like a blossoming lotus or a flower or a sunflower, opening up the body. And as we exhale, pull the belly in. Remember about the core? Exhale means pull in the belly and then roll onto yourself. Spin inward. So inhale, spinning of the limbs outwards, squeezing the shoulder blades down and back, and then exhaling, spinning inward. Side view. Okay? So when we inhale, get onto the edge here. When we inhale, it's a spinning opening, You can see my chest opening up. And when we exhale, my belly goes in first. My belly goes in first, and then I let my knees come in and I roll down a little bit. And as I inhale, opening up like a sunflower to the sky. And as I exhale, spin inwards. Don't forget the spin. So your feet have to be somewhat far apart to allow those knees to come in. This is really important because we're sitting a lot, the hip joint barely gets moving and it gets really sticky. It's a ball and socket joint. It needs to be spun. So in as you go with your exhale, pull that belly in. Let all the air come out. As you inhale, spin outward. Inhale and spin out. And then another exhale. Now this time, squeeze those knees together, spin those hands, and maybe take the backs of your wrists and press them to the sides of the leg. As you inhale, out you go. But as you inhale, press those knees in and press the backs of the wrists to the thighs. Pull your belly in, all the air comes out. And as you inhale, you spin open. And then last exhale. And release. So we want to go ahead and march. Again, you're still stuck to maybe your work environment. You're still listening to your meeting or whatever it is that you're doing. You haven't left your chair. We haven't stood up yet. Good enough. All of these things can be done. Maybe a little bit distracting, but at least you're moving. And I'm hoping you're already feeling a little better. So what can we do while still seated? All right. We want to get the hip muscles worked out and warmed up in the front because we are going to stand up and do a little bit of opening of the hips. You never want to stretch a cold muscle. It doesn't make any sense. Very important to warm up that muscle, that exact tissue that you're about to open up, that you're about to stretch, needs to be warmed up first, which means it needs to be contracted. A muscle that works is a contracting muscle. You can stretch it out afterwards because you've got it worked out and warmed up. So I don't agree with stretching cold muscles. Dynamic stretching works because you kind of make the muscle turn on, then turn off to stretch, turn on to contract, turn off to stretch. So that's some of the work that we've been doing already up to this point. Marching in place. Again, posture is really important. And we're going to go ahead and pull that belly and get back into our nice tall posture. How do we do marching? It's not just the legs just going up and down, we're just hanging out. It's that tall posture, and the breath actually is important here. So get the sit bones even, pull that belly in, take a deep inhale before you start. We're actually going to exhale every time the leg comes up. So inhale, exhale, pull your belly in and lift up one knee. Inhale, back down. Exhale, pull up the other knee. Inhale, back down. Exhale, pull up the knee. Pull the belly in. Inhale, back down. Exhale, knee up. Inhale, knee down. Exhale, knee up. Inhale, knee down. Exhale, knee up. Pull the belly in. Inhale, knee down. Exhale, knee up. Why? Because we're using those deep muscles of the abdominals. Knee down. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, knee down. Exhale, knee up. Inhale, knee down. And you can hear my breath. I'm like getting rid of all my stress. When you do a big ha, you're allowed to completely let it all out. Put yourself on mute and do a few because you deserve it. There's no reason to keep it bottled inside of you, whatever's going on. Long exhaling breaths can release so much tension. Okay. Not only that, guess what the long exhaling breath does? It stimulates the lower abdominals and the core. So it gets everything pumping up around inside your digestive system and your intestines and your belly too. Good job. You know, what's wrong with that? We all need that, especially if we're sitting a lot. Let's do at least 2 more sets of these, okay? Again, just find your sit bones, relax, and we'll continue. Again, we take an inhale before starting. Exhale. Inhale down. Exhale. Crunch. It's like a little belly crunch, but we're seated, and we're doing one leg at a time. It's like a crunch, but I'm not leaning down. I'm not folding over. I'm using the lower abs to help pull those knees up. Not just my hip flexors, but my lower abs. Okay, good. That was excellent. So I hope you feel like you got something out of that. The key again is lifting the knees and exhale breath. because that pulls in the belly muscles and then bringing it down. Remember, if you have issues with your SI joint, nothing wrong to spread those feet apart, the knees apart, and doing it this way. It's a little bit different, but we're all structured very differently. And some of us just need a wider position to accommodate the pelvis, which makes up our SI joints, which can often be sometimes painful for many of us. We may have a history with that. Does not mean we cannot do this. The key is if you allow your core to turn on and you do some of this work, the pain is not as much because you're using the correct muscles to help give you that core stability. All right, so we did a little bit of work with our thighs, right? With the actual hip muscles. So what we want to do next is not forget about the knee. So it's really important. And again, we will allow ourselves to use our core to do the same thing. So when we elongate one knee, when we pick it out, you can see my stripe getting straight. Same principles apply because now we just left one of our sturdy points off the floor. So to stabilize, we're going to go ahead, take a deep inhale first. To relax as we exhale. We're going to exhale, bringing up the foot. I know it sounds a little contradicting, but it's the same principle as what we just did with our knee up into the air. So inhale, exhale, kick out, pull that belly in, stay straight. The only thing moving is the knee joint. Inhale, bring it back. So what's the big deal? I'm staying steady. That's the thing. My core is on because the only thing moving is that knee joint. And then I exhale and I bring it back. I'm very still. Why? Because I want to engage those core muscles. So we're going to inhale. Some of us have really tight hamstrings and we may not be able to go too straight out. And that's okay. Just go as long as you can. Exhale and try to push that heel away from you. It's like the heel is being pulled away from you. And then exhale, come on back. You will definitely feel it in your quadriceps. But you're also going to feel it in your core because you're trying to stay straight. And you may feel a nice stretch to the back of the leg. So the heel is being pulled away from you as you're in this position. These quadriceps are burning probably a little bit to keep that knee straight. These are large muscles. They can take it. Exhale, come on back. Okay. And then one more inhale. So today, maybe about 4 or 5 on one side. And then we want to repeat and do the same thing on the other side. So from the front, you're going to go ahead and exhale. And you see how my foot is very nicely flushed. I'm actually pulling my toes towards me by making my heel go away from me. So my toes are being pulled to me, my heel's going away. That's giving a nice long elongation of the back of my leg. I inhale as I come back, correct? If your sit bones are uneven, kind of restart, get yourself repositioned. So exhale and then inhale. Now, if you want to have fun with this, you can go ahead and also do it alternatingly because that really gets your stability turned on. So you can pull in the belly, exhale, inhale, come back, exhale, inhale, come back. If you want to swing, oh, that takes a lot of core stability to do that because guess what? At some point, there's nothing really touching the floor and you're just balancing out. But boy, it's a great workout and you can stretch out all the fascia behind your limbs. In this case, you're just breathing normally because you've got one leg going up, one leg going down. So you're just inhaling and exhaling as long as you're not clenching your jaw. But the key again with knee extension while seated is pushing the heel away from you, pulling the toes to the nose, and you will get a stretch to the back of the leg, and you definitely will get workout of the quadricep muscles. All right. We do not want to forget about feet because they are very ignored. And for those of us that happen to be in shoes for a lot of the day, this is very important. So I cannot emphasize what we need to do with our feet because plantar fasciitis seems to be a common issue for those of us after we hit a certain age. And you have plantar fasciitis when your feet are super stiff when you wake up in the morning, first thing. So let's say this is morning time, okay? And you've woken up and you're trying to get up out of bed and your feet are just about to kill you because they feel really badly. It's probably because they're just stiff and there's a little plantar fasciitis going on. So what I like to do with the feet, and we'll just be brief about the feet. I'll sit at an angle so you can see. what's happening. And I don't have a dark background, so hopefully you can still see what I'm doing. Feet are flat on the floor. I let my toes spread open, and then I lift my heels up from the floor, and then I bring it down. But my toes remain on the floor. So at the junction where the toes meet the foot, that's what's opening up. I'm extending that tissue, okay? For some of us, this is even very difficult and very painful. You cannot do that. Just bring it up slowly, not even, just go up to a position which is comfortable and then bring it back down. When you're doing this exercise, you're also using your calf muscles. So that's a calf builder as well. So for those of us that have at least started this up and down movement, super, just try it. And now let's get a little more swirly with it. So spread out the feet, spread out the knees a little bit, bring your heels off the floor, and then just go round and round. So what's happening is it's like a pumping action. I'm here and my heels are swirling around, my knees are swirling around to guide my feet. But what's happening is because my toes are on the floor, they're wobbling. It's like different parts of the ball of the foot is getting stretched out. The ball remains on the floor, but the angling of each toe hitting the floor gets the chance to be stretched out. It's a nice fluid way to just get the feet moving. So I'm flowing outward. Look, my knees are far apart from each other, relatively speaking, so there's room to move. My heels come up and around. Maybe they fall down. So it's just a pumping action of my heels coming off the floor and on the floor while I'm moving around. And then you can go the other way as well. So there is activity where I'm pulling my heels up to the sky, right? Making my calves work and then letting them drop down. There's really no right or wrong for this one because your toes remain on the floor and you will wiggle and move the forefoot, which is really critical, and some of the midfoot as well. Okay, so I promised you a little bit of standing work too. We're going to do modifications of that as well. So what I'll do is I may have to move the angle of the camera so that you can see me in full a little better. And let's start with standing. But when we're doing this, your chair will become your friend. So what I'm going to do first is just show a general standing exercise. And I'm going to actually turn this chair around so I have some place to move here, okay? Once I've done that, I'm just going to bring this back a little bit. And excuse me. Yeah, okay. So now that we warmed up the tissues of the hip, right? Here's the chair. It's my friend. Remember? The back of the chair is here. I've got a grip on it. It's giving me something to hold on to. What I want to do is to show you how to do a gentle lunge. So this is super important for those of us that are sitting a lot. Standing activity has to happen at some point, preferably. We are going to go ahead and step forward. We step forward, the front knee bends a little bit. Here's my leg that's closer to you. Okay, that's behind. So again, all I did was I stepped forward. I've got my friend the chair to hold on to, is giving me support. And just by stepping forward, guess what's getting opened up? The hip. You can open up the hip some more by dipping down, bending the knee a little bit more. Guess what's going on with the calf? For some of us, we have really tight calves, it might come up. Your goal is to try to bring that heel to the floor to open up the calf. If you cannot, that means take a smaller step. Rather than losing that, take a smaller step. You're still going to get some benefit because the key with a lunge is where are you putting the weight and the pressure? So once you've taken your lunge, just try to take even a small step, okay? Press through the heels of the feet. The back foot, all right? The back foot can be pointed straight in front of you or slightly at an angle like this. All I did was I did not narrow up my stance either. I did not make it like I'm tandem. I actually just stepped forward with my feet apart, still staying feet apart. So my balance is really solid. Tandem might be really hard for SI joint, plus it takes a lot more balance, okay? So for those of you more advanced, tandem is not a problem. But just for today's sake, you'll still get the benefits if you're just going straight forward without going into tandem. The foot, like I said, the back foot, usually I like it to be a little bit angled, all right? So that when I step forward, all right, that back foot being at an angle, All right, so it's more like an angle rather than straight forward. It gives me more base of support also. So let's try it. If anything, just slow it down, just step forward, okay? And then press through both heels. As you're pressing through both heels, squeeze this back bun. So squeeze the back bun, and drive that heel into the floor. Just this motion, I'm hoping that you might feel an opening of the hip, okay? If you do not, step back up a little bit maybe, and then take a little longer step, okay? Take a little longer step, push your heels to the floor. Even if you don't have a sticky mat, your own will to use the muscles by pressing your heels to the floor is going to work. Keep your hips straight forward. Breathe in, squeeze this bun, and relax. Now, what we're going to do on this side, while we're pressing that heel to the floor, squeezing this bun, which opens up that hip, the one that's closest to you, that same hand of the hip I just opened up, inhale and reach up if you can. If you can reach up tall and straight, wonderful. If not, just bring your elbow and pat your back, or just come up halfway, or you can be more like a modified warrior type of position. But the most important part of this is to elongate the front of the hip by squeezing that bun, driving both heels to the floor. This part, an arm lift, is a bonus. And if you feel like it, you can lean towards your chair and you will get much more of an opening in the front of the hip. Exhale, pull your belly button in and come on back. So if you're at this point, inhale, elongate over towards the chair. I'm side bending. And then I exhale and I come on back. So from a front view, it looks like this. I'm going to pretend this is my chair. Okay, I'm holding on. I step forward. The front leg bends, right? The back foot is on the floor, and I'm bearing down to both heels. I've got my this hand on the chair. I lift up. Then I nicely inhale, and I lean away to open up the front of this hip. And then I exhale, and I come back. Inhale, and exhale. Modification is no hand up and just move in this direction or just be here. Sometimes just squeezing that bun behind you over here and pressing the heels in will open up that hip. This is a wonderful way to reverse all the sitting that you do. When you come out of this position, inhale breath and then exhale, just pull that foot back slowly. Shake it out. Shake it out. We're going to do the other side. Okay? And then we'll wrap up our session. So we want to do the other side. Everything you do on one side, try your best to even out, opposite side. So once again, we step forward with the hand that is the hand that's on the chair. That leg goes forward. Okay, that same side. So inhale, because that gives you that support. The heel is bearing down. This back leg, the heel, press through the heel, squeeze this bun, stand up tall. You'll get an opening right off the bat. Then you can exhale, come on back, relax, step back, or just be in a relaxed position. Inhale, you can step forward, squeeze, and then exhale, keep squeezing. To continue to get more benefit out of this, if you are able to, you can inhale and lift. And what you want to do, you're not shrugging your shoulder when you lift your arm up. You're telescoping your palm to the ceiling. It's like you're holding a big pizza box for everybody to see. Everybody, I've got pizza. I think it's almost 5. Pizza time. Open up the palms and the fingers. Telescope the palm to the ceiling. I'm not shrugging my shoulder. I'm elongating my arm. If I shrug my shoulder, it's going to look like this. I'm getting a yanking of my rib cage. Elongating the arm. Squeeze that bun. That's the one that's behind you. Push through both heels. Relax for a second. Let's do one more. This time we're going to lean away from the camera towards the chair. Inhale, lift. Pull in the belly a little bit to give yourself another elongated lift. Telescope the palm up. Push through both heels. Squeeze that back bun. And now inhale and lean over the chair. Exhale and come on back. And then inhale, lean. Keep that arm nicely telescoped so it really open up the fascia, not just in front of the hip, but that entire flank. Exhale. And then one more inhale. And then exhale, come on back, relax, release, let go. All right. Because we're doing an active session today, not a bedtime session, which is relaxing, I'm keeping you stimulated also. So we're not going to finish up with this. We're going to actually finish up with a little of a pike in your system, okay? But doesn't mean that you're still not doing your deep breathing. So let's finish up using the feet. Again, now that we're standing, use the chair as your friend. Relax the shoulders, get nice and tall. Push down push down through your heels. Keep your feet hip width apart. Inhale deeply and exhale. Make sure you have enough room to squat. So when you squat, it is your knees are bending and you're sticking your sit bones out behind you like you're taking a seat in another chair. Okay? Push through the heels of the feet. Keep your toes free. And then as you come up, you inhale because you're opening. Squeeze your buns to come up tall. Exhale, keep the weight through your heels and stick your sit bones behind you. And keep your torso nice and long. So you're going to inhale to come up. Exhale, pull that belly in and stick your sit bones behind you. And the weight is through your heels. Your toes are free. They're free to play piano. Your toes are like piano toes. Another inhale and then exhale. Now that you've worked those larger muscles, come up and down on your feet and toes by holding onto the chair. So I've developed my balance over the years, right, because of the yoga. So I don't hold on to my chair. I don't recommend that other people just start this without holding onto any chair. Countertops and chairs, I love doing this where we're just coming up on the heels and rocking back. But the rocking back without holding on may guarantee a fall. So make sure you're holding on to something, especially when you're rocking back. But coming up on the calves, the calf muscles are the key for us to be able to be strong all life long and walking. All right. And finally, to get really stimulated, because we still have another 3 hours of work to do, maybe at our desks, take some time to just come up in a nice, tall, long lift. And then you can spread out your hands and just come down in a mountain pose. So again, you can just reach up forward or sideways. You can clasp the hands at the top if you wish, but spread out, make a big circle, come down. Look at the posture. This is the key. Inhale, rooting through the spine, nice and tall, grounding the feet into the floor, squeezing the buns a bit to give yourself that elongation. And then exhale, you can sprinkle, I call it sprinkling the fingers, piano playing the fingers, sprinkle those fingers down, come down, nice and tall. And then one more deep inhaling breath, relax the jaw, come on up if you can. Again, modification maybe coming up this way and out with large, wide hands as opposed to here if you have rotator cuff issues. And then exhale either down this way, otherwise if it's too painful for some reason, just soft elbow. So there's no reason why you have to cancel out your arms if you have shoulder issues. They can be just modified. You can come up like you're lifting up into like a military press gently. The key is what's going on with the torso. And then as you finish, exhale. Take a deep breath. Honor yourself. Remain in standing. If you're able to, if you have to take a seat, please go right ahead and have a seat. You're more than welcome to sit down. But as you're centering yourself, and if something has come over you that's causing you stress or any kind of feeling of high energy and you need to ground yourself, push your heels into the floor, sit or stand, soften those knees, feel like your feet are solid on the floor, and taking a deep breath, allowing the breath to flow in and relax and flow out. Relax the jaw, become very aware of what it is that you're feeling. The why doesn't matter, just the what. And then breathe in, surround that sensation that you are not too thrilled about, whatever it may be, could be stress, and just exhale it out. For daytime stimulation, this is what I'll finish up with you. Allow your inhaling breath to be a little long or even compared to your exhale. So deep inhaling breath with the eyes rolling up, maybe for a 4 count, and then a nice exhale. So the deeper inhale or the longer inhaling breath with the eyes rolling up and followed by just a letting go Doing that about 3 to 5 times can stimulate you. So nice long inhale, eyes up, and then relaxation with the exhaling breath out. Thank you so much. I truly honor your presence today. On the Facebook Live, I will request that if you have a chance to look for the evaluation form from today, I would love for you to fill that out to give me some feedback. And I hope you got to enjoy one of our first live stream yoga sessions. And I would love for you to come back again. Check us out at thinkIndia.foundation. That's our website. We've got some really great things that are up on our website, including some of the most recent storytelling contest winners entries. We would love to read some of those and some of the exciting things with wonderful pictures of what we've done in the past and some adventures that we hope that you can take part in the upcoming future.